Alright, so this video has been requested by Year 10 because obviously you've got your exams next week on the First World War module, and it was a request to do a video on the Moroccan Crises, which is obviously, or which were, one of the main causes of the First World War. I know that the causes of the First World War is something that people have been having a few issues with. It's something that we did way back at the start of the year, so hopefully this video will jog your memory a little bit. So yeah, the Moroccan crises being the plural of crisis. There are two crises in Morocco, and naturally I'm going to start with the first Moroccan crisis, or Cris as I've put there. Spelling mistake, should say crisis, but according to this, it's the first Moroccan crisis, which takes place in 1905 and 1906. Now, there's a map here. Sorry, it's in black and white. I should have printed it off in colour, really. But Morocco is up here in North Africa. Okay, so Morocco is a country in North Africa, which in 1905 it was one of the few African states that was not controlled or occupied by European power, and France was particularly interested in adding Morocco to their empire. They already controlled quite a bit of Africa already. In fact, I can show you on the map. They controlled, well, all of this bit really, so places like Algeria, Mauritania, Senegal, places like that. So France were very interested in adding Morocco to their growing empire in Africa. Now, the year before, in 1904, Britain and France had signed the Entente Cordiale. The 8th of April 1904, Britain and France had signed the Entente Cordiale with each other. The Entente Cordiale means like a cordial agreement, basically, a friendly agreement between Britain and France. Now, this is not a formal military alliance. It's not, if you go to war, we come to war with you, which is what the Triple Alliance was with Germany and Austria, Hungary and Italy. It's not like that. It's just an agreement that you're going to be basically friendly with each other. You're going to help each other out if you feel like it. Now, part of the Entente Cordiale was Britain gave France a free hand in Morocco. Britain basically said, look, we'll let you kind of have Morocco and not make not make any protest about it or not make any fuss about it, provided you do the same for us in Egypt. So Britain wanted to really kind of grasp Egypt and take control of Egypt. France wanted to take control of Morocco, and they kind of agreed to let each other have, as I say, a free hand, as it became known, in each of these areas. Now, so as I say, this is all part of the Entente Cordiale between Britain and France, this friendly agreement. But however, at the same time as this, Germany also wanted to add to their empire. The Kaiser was particularly keen on expanding German power around the world, and naturally he was opposed to this. He was opposed to French interests in Morocco. He wouldn't have minded really adding Morocco to the German empire. Certainly doesn't want France to get any stronger. Remember, France and Germany have got a bit of a rivalry at this time, and he also wanted to break up the Entente Cordiale. Obviously, Britain and France are Germany's rivals, and he doesn't really like the idea of them being friendly with each other. So he wants to break up the Entente Cordiale. Basically, he's thinking, if I can put France under a little bit of pressure over this Moroccan issue, then hopefully Britain won't do anything, because this is a fresh, brand new agreement between the two. Very early stages of this kind of friendship, these friendly relations between the two countries. And traditionally, Britain and France have been enemies, really. Britain and France have been warring with each other for hundreds and hundreds of years before at different times. So the Kaiser was thinking, look, if I can put France under a bit of pressure, hopefully Britain will kind of just not do anything, and this Entente Cordiale will kind of break up before it really gets going. That was the plan. So, in March 1905, the Kaiser visited a city called Tangier in Morocco, okay, in March 1905. Now, when he went to Tangier in Morocco in 1905, he announced that Germany supported an independent Morocco. So he says, look, we think Morocco should be independent. We certainly don't think that it should be controlled by France. And also that Germany kind of knew how to protect Moroccan independence. So it was kind of like, don't slide in with France. Stay on our side. We'll protect you. We'll make sure you're independent. And naturally, France was really annoyed by this. They were shocked, they were annoyed, they thought, what are Germany doing getting involved in our business? And contrary to what the Kaiser wanted and almost expected, the British government did stand up for France in this issue. They made it clear that they supported France and kind of disapproved of Germany's interference. So, what happened next? Well, what happened next was there was actually a conference, an international conference held between 12, if I remember correctly, 12 of the European nations, the big powerful European nations, and America, to kind of discuss what was going to be done with Morocco. And this conference was known as the Algeciras Conference in 1906. Algeciras is in southern Spain. So the Algeciras Conference is called in 1906 to, as I say, discuss what's going to happen with Morocco. And at the Algeciras Conference, only Austria-Hungary and Morocco agreed with Germany that Morocco should be independent. Every other party that was there agreed with France, particularly Britain. Britain support France, and the Kaiser's forced to kind of back down, and he's humiliated by this. It's embarrassing. He's taken a bit of a risk by trying to cause trouble, and it's kind of blown up in his face a little bit. He looks a bit foolish, and that's kind of one of the main outcomes of this conference, really, that the Kaiser is humiliated. Another outcome of the Algeciras conference, I'll hold it up here, is Britain and France's relations were strengthened. So again, the Kaiser had wanted to break up this kind of budding relationship between Britain and France, and actually he's ended up doing the opposite. He's drawn them closer together because the first real test, the first real sign of trouble, Britain have stood up for France, and it's made them stronger, it's made them even more friendly. That's the exact opposite of what he wanted. And as I put down here, the Kaiser was humiliated, and he's even more determined, really, to break up the Entente Cordiale now, because, as I say, he's been embarrassed by it, he looks a bit of a fool, really, and he's more determined now to break up this Entente Cordiale, that he's kind of, he's accidentally, made them closer together. Now, that kind of leads on, 5 years later, to the second Moroccan crisis, the Agadir crisis. Now, this crisis involves, or there's a reason why I put this boat on here, it'll become more apparent in a minute. In March 1911, there was a rebellion in Fez, which is a city in Morocco. Fez. So in March 1911, there was a rebellion in Fez in Morocco. Now, the Sultan, who was the ruler of Morocco, appealed to France for help. He said, I can't handle this rebellion on my own. We need some assistance from France, the French army, basically, to come and help us out. Now, the German viewpoint at the start was actually that they thought France had started this rebellion secretly as an excuse to kind of send the army in and just never leave. It's an excuse to occupy Morocco. In fact, I've put that there. So the German viewpoint, France had started the revolt, as I say, themselves, as an excuse to occupy Morocco. Whether that's true or not, who knows? But the French did send in a small army to put down the rebellion. Now, Germany naturally opposed this action, and they responded by sending a gunboat, there we go, called SMS Panther, to the Moroccan port of Agadir, to say that they're going to defend German interests there, basically defend any German people living in Morocco. Now, the French just react to this by sending more troops, actually, in the end, so it makes the situation even worse. But again, importantly, Britain come to France's defence. They agreed to support the French. They even ready their navy for war. So they don't just say, "Oh yeah, we support you." They kind of show their cards and get their navy all prepared for war. Now, Germany are forced to back down. One, because they'll really struggle to go up against the British Navy, but also at the same time there was a financial crisis back home in Germany, and they couldn't really be seen to be getting involved in a foreign conflict, basically, when there was trouble back at home. So Germany, once again, for the second time, are forced to back down. The crisis does end when France agreed to let Germany have some very small strips of land in the Congo, which was in Africa, but it was controlled by France, if Germany let France occupy Morocco. So that's how the crisis ends. But the consequences, again, important that you know the consequences. The consequences of the second Moroccan crisis, or the Agadir crisis as it's sometimes known, as I say, well, there are three really. Britain and France's relationship, again, the Entente Cordiale, is strengthened once again. So the Kaiser has, once again tried to break these two up, and they've just grown closer as a result of the crisis. Germany, again, was humiliated, the Kaiser was humiliated and eager for revenge, and kind of that leads on to the third one there, that war was now a lot more likely as a result of this crisis. That's why it's one of the causes of World War One. World War One doesn't just, I said this the other day to a few of you, World War One doesn't just start because Franz Ferdinand gets shot and all the alliances get drawn in. There's already a lot of tension between, the major powers, between Germany and Britain and Germany and France and what have you. So that's why it's one of the causes of the First World War. So there you go, 11 minutes that video is taken, so hopefully it's cleared up a few issues that a few of you were having with the Moroccan crises, and it's helped you understand which one's which. Luckily, obviously, the consequences are actually very similar for both, so it's not too much of a problem if you get them confused. So yeah, that was the Moroccan crises. I'm hoping Year 10 that before next week I can get another video, or maybe even two out. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Busy week this week, but hopefully I can get one or two more out to you before your exam next week. I'm aiming to do one on the Bosnian crisis, which again has been requested by a few of you. And as I say, hopefully I'll get that one done, and maybe even another one if I find the time. In fact, I'll leave the comments open below as well, so in case you have any requests for videos there, you can leave any requests down below. But as I say, hopefully that's cleared up any issues that you guys were having. Hope the revision is going well, and I will see you very soon.